And he does it. Good morning, good afternoon, and if you're coming home working a long 9 to 5, hope you're having a good night as we bring to you another Talktagon edition with Rami, with myself, and with Max.
Yes,
Episode
sir.
28, UFC Shanghai. You just saw me nail that one and hole. It was beautiful as hell.
Snipe it.
And we sniped that motherfucker, shooter. But like, what a weekend that we had. UFC Shanghai was this past weekend for the UFC. There's the light behind me, like Jesus Christ just entered the room. But it was a great weekend. It was a great night of fights. The
Heck yeah.
crowd was absolutely
hmm
electric. Like from start to
Yeah.
finish, they were clapping, they were cheering. They weren't quiet. They weren't chanting "Beat USA" or that. They weren't chanting "USA." Why would they? It's China. But why would? And it was just a perfect card. I thought from start to finish, we definitely had a lot of good fights and a lot of people where we're like, I'm a fan of his now.
Yeah.
Especially all the upsets that we saw, whether it was start or it was finish. Max, my friend, how are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. Happy to be talking with you as always. It was a fun weekend. It was a late night card, so I had to watch it the next day because I'm just not built for the all-nighters. But it was an amazing card. And we had the Bodyslam fantasy football draft as well. We streamed that. That was super fun. So overall, it's just been a great past weekend, and I'm excited to talk about these fights. There was lots of crazy knockouts, and can't wait to
And
chat it
a,
up.
and a little bit of controversy we saw
Yeah.
later on down the line. It was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Some
admit,
illegal knees here and there.
illegal knees that resulted in a lot of, like, hoopla, as people
Yeah.
say,
A whole lot of
and
hoopla.
just a whole lot of hoopla. You know what I mean? But it was so good. It was such a fun night. We will definitely get into that.
Yep.
But follow the Bodyslam Twitch channel. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us anywhere that you get your news from. It's always much appreciated, and it's always we're
Yeah.
always
There was some
grateful for
crazy
what we
wrestling
get.
news, MMA news to this weekend,
Exactly,
dude. Craziness. So
exactly.
Rami's on top of
Rampage
it.
MMA legend Rampage Jackson's son, Raza Jackson, might be going to jail because Los Angeles Police Department are investigating him over legitimately storming the ring and knocking out Psycho Stu, a local independent wrestler here in Los Angeles, California. He wrestled near Sun Valley, if people know where that is, at the Knox Pro Wrestling Entertainment Academy. If everyone saw it, I believe everyone has
Yeah.
seen
It's
this happen.
become huge.
It
Yeah.
it had over, I believe, like 10 million views in 6 hours. Like, just from all the different channels and all the different places that were posting this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere that you saw it on, you definitely saw the horrific incident that happened. Thankfully, Stu is awake and stable, and we're just learning more as time goes on. There's a lot of weird wrestlers coming out and a lot of weird people coming out saying, like, this deserved to happen, but I don't I don't ask John Jones, or like I don't ask
Mm.
Francis Ngannou to come to a wrestling ring, you know what I mean? And get into a match and be like, okay, I'm supposed to just
Yeah.
almost look like it hurts, not look like it hurts, and they're like, yeah, that's the point. That's professional wrestling for you. You know what I mean? Don't actually
Yeah.
kill your guy. And Ngannou, imagine he throws the guy in his corner and he's like, I'm chopping him, right? Yeah, and he just starts hitting uppercuts over and over again to that dude in the corner. His brain's gonna turn into mashed potatoes by the end of the fucking
hmm
like 5 seconds. Like, that's it, it's gone. I don't understand the point of all of this. I don't understand whose
Yeah.
idea it was, and I
Terrible
don't
idea.
understand who. And then even people backstage, just one wrestler that's being castrated online right now, who was backstage and told
hmm
Raja Jackson, I didn't like what happened there. Give him a receipt. Come
Yeah.
on, man. If you don't like somebody in a professional wrestling ring, you could tell them backstage, hey, I don't like you. That's it.
Yeah.
But business is business. I'm gonna go in here and do my business and do my shit.
hmm
But I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I've
don't
I've
say
had many
that to
people.
someone who doesn't
I've
know what
I've
he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So it went
exactly.
way overboard so bad, dude. Oh my God.
I've told
Like,
many people in my life, I don't want to be friends with you. We work together, but I don't want to be friends with you because of our past, or maybe because of our history, or maybe because I'm just, not a fan of yours. That's it. You can do
mhm.
that. It's easily acceptable. But
Yeah.
for anybody to go to the length that he did, brother.
Insane, dude.
Brother, come on.
I
And
was
then
like, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, that's bad. And then it kept going. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this
20
is
unanswered blows to the fucking head, and then people expect to be like, "Oh, I understand why. Do you? Do you
handle
really,
it right
buddy?"
there if you're mad at the can. I'm like, if you're mad at the can incident, don't
And
handle it way later and when he doesn't expect it and when he thinks he's working. I'm like, what is going on here, dude? So yeah, horrible situation, but I'm like, there's a fine line between like wrestling where it's like, oh, it's a bit, and then it's like you're going 10 times overboard. Like, it's like, what is going on here, dude? So she should have never even been in the ring at all. I don't know if that was part of the plan for him to do the slam. I'm not exactly sure. Do you know?
they
But
said that the double leg was planned, that he was supposed to do a slam, and then the referee was supposed to, pull him apart. But the referees didn't go in. And here's what's worse about that: dude's unconscious, laying there, right?
yeah,
They decided to continue the match.
I saw this.
They
Yes.
they brought his opponent in and pinned it 1, 2, 3, while this guy is out cold, bleeding profusely from his face. Just
Yeah, I don't know
uh,
which wrestling event that
uh,
is, but I'm like, I don't know. They maybe need
Knox
to be a little more careful.
Knox Pro Wrestling in Los Angeles, California. It's owned by WWE Hall of Famer and legend Rikishi, the father to Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa in the WWE. It's also a WWE ID talent school. This is where they get the future of professional wrestling. They
Damn.
call them up and say, "Hey, we like what you're doing. We love that you're a young 25-year-old. Come on into WWE and we'll give you more training at NXT or Evolve." Now this school's gonna get fucking cut and they're
Yeah.
gone for it. I
Yeah,
remember
but tapping out when he's already out, I'm like, I get that it's still a show, but I'm like, I feel like the show ended once that was happening. But I guess
exactly
the wrestling is just
before
crazy business for real.
before we do get into the action, our number one fantasy here.
The
Howdy,
GOAT.
Randy, Craig, our hogs,
Our
and
hogs. Oh.
anyways, the quietness always gets Craig and that hog, man. But anyways, what do you call it? Let's get into the action.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you would. Do you have Verdict? Do you put your predictions on Verdict?
I don't put him on Verdict, but I have Verdict, yeah.
So there was some bullshit that happened. I have a screenshot of it. Our opener was in the light heavyweight action between Yoran Sarabaliev against Dios Noragaze.
My bad.
Good.
Yeah.
And the fight ends in the first 2 minutes. We got a takedown. We got a. Well, here's the thing too. I didn't know this fight was even. I didn't know the fight started at midnight for any of us. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the
So
West.
it was a rough one.
We kept being told it's 3 a.m. Wake your asses up. But the UFC needs to worry about the West Coast because the West Coast is the best coast. You know what I mean? Stop talking about the East Coast. We don't care.
All these time zones. I don't have time to research that. Come on.
Exactly. Fuck the GMTs. Fuck all these other people. Fuck them all. Anyways, Yoran's Sarabaliev picks up the win very quickly. 2 minutes right in.
Yeah.
Gets the takedown. Gets the Ezekiel chokes out Dyer and picks up the big win. But here's the bullshit about this. On Verdict, I have a screenshot. It says that Yoran lost. Yeah, Dion choked out Yoran, and then they took it away. And I'm like, after 10 minutes, by the way, after the next fight started between Young and Long, they took away the loss and they gave me the win. I'm like, was that the first time it's ever happened? I felt for Verdict too because we're all waking up at midnight or 3 a.m. We all are dealing with some freaking tough times. So I give them a pass because I would have done the same thing if I was in their shoes. But Yoran Sarabaliev picks up the Ezekiel choke submission. It picks him up also the first fight and a performance of the night bonus. Is Dana White actually listening to us? Is Dana White actually saying, "Oh wow, the first finish of the card, that's great. Let's give him a bonus." And that's what happened here.
He doesn't just watch the last 5.
What were your thoughts on this big Ezekiel choke finish?
Easy work for him, dude. Yeah. I'm happy that he was able to bounce back. He lost to our guy Martin Budai in his last fight up at heavyweight, which was a crazy size mismatch. Where I'm like, this guy's down to light heavyweight now, and Budai's a big ass heavyweight. So I can kind of see why he wasn't able to handle the pure size of Budai. And now Budai's not even in the UFC, so that's a little crazy. But yeah, easy work. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I don't know. I think it might be time for his opponent to be sending back to the regional scene, because that's back-to-back finishes for him in his UFC career so far. And the first one was in the second round, and this one is now in the first round. So it's not getting any better, but I don't know. Maybe he can bounce back after a little bit of wins on the regional scene. But yeah, not looking too good.
Not looking good at all. And I saw the same way too. Wasn't that Ezekiel Choke get locked in, and I was like, okay, so. And here's the thing: I was nervous about this fight because he's 10-1. His opponent Yoron is 9-1 entering the UFC. I believe this was his UFC debut.
I think it was his second fight.
His second
after
fight
he came in on
UFC.
short notice, I believe, but he lost in against Brinson Roberto.
Yeah, but that's a pretty hard fight to take on, especially short notice. You got to get a good full training camp with that. You might run it down the line later on, but he picks up this big win. He gets into the UFC, had a little bit of a misstep. Got his feet back into onto the water, and is swimming. He's swimming good, and so hopefully, everything continues well for him. I feel the same way about Dior, about the whole I feel like they should probably cut him and put him back on the regional scene, because I feel like if your takedown defense isn't as crisp as as you want it to be, and you're getting beaten very easily, then there's something more to your training camp that you got to do, and there's some extra steps that you got to take. But first performance of the night bonus finish and rightfully so. Just kicked it off with Ezekiel Choke.
Yep.
Ezekiel Chokes are really freaking hard to lock in and to put your opponent down with. So.
And first round, easy work.
First round,
and we picked that one right. So we're looking good.
That one. We're looking great. Some bad blood might explode later on, but
Yep.
It happened. Our next fight, bantamweight
this is a crazy one.
Yusu Young against Zhao Long, and this, like you said, this was crazy.
The ending.
The first round was close. It was. I watched it back now twice. That first round was very close. Both fighters threw equal strikes. They were trying their best. Even though Yusu Young was working that beautiful head movement, he was getting out of the way in that first round. In the second round, he was footwork crisp. Everything about it was beautiful about it. But the first round was close. I could have if Zhao Long could have worked some, more kicks in, worked some, more strikes in, and, got a little bit of an advantage, could have been his. But second round comes in, Yusu Young used the head movement, used the footwork, makes Zhao Long fight with the air the whole way for 5 minutes, and just, had himself a good time. But then the third round came, and this is one where
this is crazy.
Anything could have really happened. What's going on? Sorry, I just got a fucking all caps message. Okay. No, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? I thought I did something wrong. But anyways, I'm like, who cares? But Yusu Young almost got murdered in the third round.
Yes.
Zhao Long worked that beautiful clinch. Got him in the clinch, elbow. It was like I was watching a classic battle between Don Fry and Pride. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just him going in a corner and just landing form after
Non-stop.
form after form. It felt like a New Japan battle between Zack Sabre Jr. and Konosuke Takeshita. I was just wondering with myself, like, is this going to end? Is someone going to get dropped? Is someone going to get put down? And there was moments where if Long dropped Young in this fight, could have been his. I think the judges could have easily, went for it. The third round was anybody. The third round was anybody's. The first and second round, you could kind of say like maybe Young took it by a split edge, but it could have even been a draw.
Yeah, I could have seen it either way.
That's how beautiful. That's how beautiful the fight was. Good clinch work, good elbows from Long. Didn't win the fight, but it was definitely something that he was taking into account later on, and start off in the very first minute off with elbows, clinch knees, all of that magic. What were your thoughts on this fight?
Bro, what a fight. I thought it could have gone either way, honestly. I was not mad that you got the win because we both picked him, so I love to see that. But, yeah, dude, that ending, I'm like, you almost have to give it to him.
I looked at the card. I was like, wait a minute. I had to look at the card.
Yeah. Oh, it was like, you almost have to give it to him because those elbows are just so badass, and I was impressed with both of them. So, Zhao Long now 1-2 in the UFC, but we got to keep him around because he just put on a great fight. And then for Su Young, he's now 3-0 in the UFC, so looking very good. And I can't wait to see what he does next. He's all been decisions, so maybe let's see him get a finish. But sometimes you're just fighting these badasses who won't go out, and then if you go too hard, they start throwing 1,000 elbows at you, and then you could get dropped. For real, bro. That was like the most successive elbows, like while standing, that I've ever seen, bro. He's just spamming it. I was like, holy shit. Shout out to him, bro. They both put on an absolute show.
But here's what I want to say. If we didn't have any fight of the night tonight, why wasn't that a fight of the night?
I know, bro. They're so greedy with it, bro. They're like, performance or fight of the night. We have to limit them. I know, bro.
They're like, Dana's like, we got this big deal with Paramount. More people are gonna get paid. More fighters gonna get paid, but not until next year, now. Like, wow, okay.
More good performances should mean more bonuses. It's like if there's a shit card, I'm not mad if there's 0 bonuses. But so I'm like, if there's a good card, make sure they're all fucking getting bonuses if they put on a show. I just don't get it.
Hear me out. If there's a fucking fight card, I've seen it before. If there's a fucking fight card where there's all 12 fights going the distance, don't pay anybody.
Yeah.
If it's boring, don't pay anybody. Especially if it's boring.
That's how it should be.
Bloody and they're going back and forth and we don't know who won in the end. Hey, give them a fight of the night bonus.
Yeah.
You can afford it. But if it's boring, I can understand the whole point of it was boring.
Yeah.
Even though these guys fight for my organization and I'm the one who booked the fight, it's boring. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm like, if every fight puts on a crazy bonus-worthy performance, they should get a bonus. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, but Dana hates us, and he hates his fighters, and he hates his organization because he's like, man, why do they want to get paid?
He loves the profits.
He's the Mr. Krabs of this world, and
that's a great comparison. For real, but all the fighters are SpongeBob, though. They're like, I'm ready. For real, bro.
I'm ready. And then they're like, oh, beautiful knockout. You basically killed your opponent in front of his family. I know, but no fight of the night bonus. You know why? John Jones is coming back, pal.
Jones, we gotta save money for him.
He needs the bonus, pal. Like, okay. In our next fight, featherweight action. Like, these next 2 fights, by the way, are just crazy work because it's 1 second apart with them.
Yeah.
Well, actually 4 seconds apart, but still, it feels like 1 second apart because of how crazy the action was.
Not much time.
Featherweight action, Yiza, which I was a little bit confused with the name because I thought they had like one name.
I know, bro. I'm not sure.
I was like, what is this? I thought it was like I was watching Superbad. It was like McLovin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was either McLovin or Muhammad. Like, why would it be between that? But Yiza and Rangzu, they are in the fight. We will get to him. But Yiza fought here against Weston Wilson. Could almost be, compared to Wade Wilson, a Deadpool. There's also another Wade Wilson. I believe it's Slade from the DC universe. But
really?
Weston Wilson comes into this. Yeah, crazy stuff. Like they have the same fucking name. And DC
Who came first?
Were like, I don't know. I don't know. I think Slade did. Teen Titans was quite some time ago. Deadpool, we don't know. But so Yiza comes into this against Weston Wilson. As soon as the fight starts, pressure, and I don't even mean by pressure by like a minute, second minute, third, fourth, fifth minute, none of that stuff. Oh, what is this? What sport is this? We're talking about rugby. A little bit of lacrosse and swimming. We're mostly talking about why Michael Phelps smoking weed cost him a gold medal at the Olympics in 2008, and also why people are fans of the Golden State Warriors. But anyways, besides that, I love the Golden State Warriors. I literally what is it? I have a Curry jersey hanging up right there for $400 for free. I didn't pay a single dime. But no, these.
We're talking UFC. We're talking UFC.
UFC
Make sure
Shanghai.
to clear
Yeah, it says Talktagon. What sport are we talking? Let me just UFC Shanghai full recap. What sport is this?
Maybe he was just confused.
I'm not actually bullying anybody here because I don't want to get canceled.
I know.
But it is. But actually, I really hope that person does not take offense to what I said. I was actually just joking.
No,
but Weston Wilson got completely obliterated by Yiza 37 seconds in a fight and just dropped. And it dropped the first time, gets back up, and then I put like a boomerang on Instagram that straight, and then big left jab, and just dropped Weston Wilson. Referee calls it off 30 seconds in, 37 seconds in, and that is what the fuck? That wasn't a performance of the night bonus?
So I'm saying,
What
bro,
is the UFC doing?
he
That was the
hates
first
him,
knock. It was the first knockout of the night. He gave it,
bro.
and here's the crazy part. He gave it to the next fight that we're gonna talk about. That fight ended in 43 seconds. This fight ends in 37 seconds. So I guess like 40 seconds in, you're eligible for fight of the night bonuses,
Yeah,
like performance of the night bonuses.
bro,
What?
it's
Oh,
so
hold on,
whack,
actually.
dude.
Oh, hold on, wait, say. I had Sati Baldi as a lock, high on that lock right now. Oh,
Bro, bro, he's a monster.
then why'd you ask what sport we were watching? I'm sorry. My apologies. I was like, wait a minute. I see this. It's like voice of reason coming back here and almost having me say something wrong. I haven't uploaded that video. I'm scared to. I don't know if anyone's gonna take offense to it. But yes, Yiza picks up the big win over Weston Wilson. What were your thoughts on this 37-second knockout that we
Easy
witnessed?
work, bro. Yiza, he's him. He's he's had some rough going in the past, but now he's looking better. And it's tough to say where Weston Wilson's kind of been finished by many people, especially by knockout. But hey, dude, all you can do is face the guy in front of you. He was a massive favorite, like almost minus 1,000. So that's what you're supposed to do. But yeah, it doesn't make it any less impressive. So shout out to Yiza and Weston Wilson. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's 1-3 in the UFC now, so I don't know. Maybe he needs to go back. It's like for his own safety, send him back to regional scene because that was brutal.
Brutal, and so was the next fight. Our boy Mikael Pereira entered this fight against Kyle Dawkins, who I told Sav Jelly. I don't know if you've ever heard of this professional wrestler. Have you ever heard of a pro wrestler named Joe Hendry? So
It's casual.
I know it's okay, but it's okay. He's a meme wrestler for the past couple of years. So the whole thing is like, if you say his name, he'll appear. So like people are like, oh, like where's Joe Hendry? And then the song will be like, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Like that. It's so great. It's so catchy. It's beautiful. Well, I looked at Kyle Dawkins and I'm like, his hair, like Joe Hendry. His face, like Pau Gasol, legendary basketball player. I'm like, dude, this is the love child. I told this to Sav Jelly. I'm like, this is the love child of Pau Gasol and Joe Hendry. Like, what's up, bro? Like,
he is 6'3", bro. He's pretty tall. I mean, Pau Gasol's what, 6'10"?
Pereira busted so many parlays.
Yeah, for real, bro.
Yeah, he did.
Well, you could say Dawkins did. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because that was a nasty knockout.
I mean, yeah, he did. Let's get into that. Mikael Pereira getting into his groove, dancing, feeling himself. That the introductions get underway, and then as soon as we get past the 35-second mark, all shit hits the fan. He gets clocked to the chin and dropped dead. Like this was like
literally.
I'm not lying. Like this was like the lyrics of "Stranded" by Gojira. Great song. He literally says in it, you found me face down dead. I'm just saying, we found him face down dead. He was gone. He was on his back, like Jesus was like looking down on him and everything. Like, brother, you good?
For real.
Crazy work. Kyle Dawkins picks up this massive win, gets a performance of the night bonus. Yiza, I guess, apparently, wasn't eligible for one, even though he got a knockout 5 seconds early in time, like 37 seconds to 43 seconds. What the?
Give them both 50K, bro. It's such bullshit. But yeah, dude, Kyle Dawkins, bro, what a comeback.
That was a fight you just don't bet on. I mean, it's really hard because Kyle Dawkins seems like a guy you don't know if you can bet on, and the Pereira is a guy that you don't know if you could really root on because he'll do a backflip off the cage, he'll freaking do a moonsault, a freaking cannonball, like he'll do all sorts of professional wrestling moves. All of a sudden, I don't know, he's gonna pull up an attitude adjustment like he's gonna pull out a crossroads like he's Cody Rhodes. He's gonna pull out an attitude adjustment like he's John Cena. He's gonna pull out some kind of wrestling moves, and we're gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? And he gases himself out. Sometimes he has good performances. Sometimes he doesn't. It's a very bipolar type of decision that you have to make. And that's what I thought. I was like, Pereira's gonna take this. He's gonna do well for himself. I'm gonna actually just put the the things on and see how it goes. What was this one? That's right. That was how you know better. Yeah, I just put the captions on, so if we see it, we see it. I don't have to put it up on the screen. People can just comment if they want to. But what were your thoughts on Kyle Dawkins getting this massive knockout win and a performance on the night bonus?
Do we place bets? I think I do place bets. Unfortunately, Rami it's not allowed in Cali. In AZ, it's
exactly.
allowed. In
It's
Arizona,
illegal. It's
that's why
illegal
Arizona
here in
on top.
California.
I can just drive over to you and enjoy the beach, or I can place bets when I'm not at the beach. Oh, it's a good time. Short little drive over.
Do you want me to shoot you?
Whoa! What? No, I come in peace.
Calm down, pal.
I
feel like I'm Will Smith in Men in Black. Like, brother, don't you do that to me. But no,
I have to take our victories when we can, bro. We love our sports betting here, I must say. So yeah, I think I definitely was in the green for this one. I think I put on some. I might have even bet on freaking Dawkins. I can't even remember because I've been kind of skeptical of Pereira, but I knew that I picked him here. But I'm like, Kyle Dawkins is a fat underdog, and he's been crushing it on the regional scene, so he had a lot of momentum coming in. So I was like, shit. I'm like, sometimes I'll just I mostly bet on underdogs that I think have a chance of winning. That's basically my betting strategy.
I get that. No, I'm the same way. Or I will bet on verdict. I'll always pick the most obscure pick possible. And then Brady used to get mad at me because I would always put round 3 every time to finish because you don't want to put round 1 or round 2 because then you kind of get fucked over. You put round 3, it basically seems like anything goes. And then if it's a 28 times multiplier for submission or knockout, I go for it. Like the last pay-per-view, UFC 319. Who was the Hamza Chimaev teammate? Everyone said he was going to win by knockout, so that was the favorite to win by knockout. I put by submission, and I got a massive freaking payout from that for verdict. Now imagine if I actually can bet money.
I know, dude. And look at Rami's picks, bro. You guys need to be tailing Rami for the bets, dude. I'm like 68%, bro. This dude knows ball, dude. I've been waiting for him to slip up. But, bro, he keeps crushing me on these picks, dude. I'm thinking I'm good with 61%, but nah, he's almost at 70. So, Rami knows ball. And he doesn't even bet. This is unfair.
And that's the thing. I think that I would. Okay, so 319, I told my buddy to bet. And in the first fight that we had, the tough finale, it lost. And I was like, I can't bet. See, if God hears that I'm betting, we're fucked. If he doesn't, we're not fucked. So, I think we're good.
Real, bro.
But it's like, whenever I do decide to bet, I feel like the last hit album from Pink Floyd, The Wall. I'm about to hit it. I will hit the wall and I will not survive it. I'm not gonna make the Dale Senior joke, even though that's actually a good one too.
I like betting, but I'm terrible with parlays, so I just do singles. And if it's a good underdog that has a chance, I'm like, fuck it, we ride. But yeah, dude, when the parlays, I stopped doing, bro. The parlays are too much for me. There's always like you were saying about Pereira, bro. He probably would have been on one if I did a parlay and not just underdogs. So I'm like, dude, I just try to find some value with the underdogs, especially in MMA. There's a lot of upsets, so I just say fuck.
Yeah, and then look at our picks. Like, you know what I mean? We go 3 straight perfect, and then we always have that one fighter that out of the blue loses, and we're like, you were picked, a big favorite, but. Hey, that's the theater of the unpredictable. That's what I love.
Bro, with betting, it's tough. It's like who's more likely to win, who do I think will win, and who is better value of who is actually going to give me some money.
Could you imagine if the people who bet on Pereira to beat Adesanya in the second fight, and Adesanya pulled off that shocker knockout?
Bro, I think that was me. I remember that, but I was rooting for Izzy, so I was happy, but that was crazy.
Exactly. Like, you make that underdog bet, but you're so scared the whole fight of what's going to happen. When it pulls off, you're like, holy crap, am I God? Am I Mystic Max? You know what I mean? But and then, shit, and then we get the other shit end of the stick, which is a Pereira lockout against Kyle Dawkins, which you said about, you reflected on the Kyle Dawkins one, right?
Yeah, I was not surprised, honestly. I picked Pereira because I'm like, Dawkins hasn't been in the UFC for a while, but I was definitely nervous for it. But
hold on. And the over 2.5.
Had the money line and over 2.5. I'm pretty sure that hit then. Beautiful.
Not bad. But speaking of, Rong Zhu versus Austin Hubbard. Next up, light heavyweight. What do you call it? I love how I said, speaking of, and anyways, This fight, one-sided. I would say like it was kind of like a one-sided affair. We got a sharp kick to the ribs from Rong Zhu, and then he just he worked his magic against Austin Hubbard
Mm-hmm.
for 3 rounds straight, 30-27. One of the judges gave it, which was rightfully so. Other judges gave it, I think, 29-28. But Rong Zhu definitely had a dominant performance. Worked the clinch, worked the wrestling. Like, there was moments where it looked a little bit scary. Then he got the takedown, and I was like, you know what? He knows what he's doing. So, and just,
So
first round, same way. Second round, same action. Third round, a little bit different, but, we saw what Rangzhu can do. What were your thoughts on this fight?
yeah, pretty easy work. Nothing too crazy, but Rangju was able to do what he needed to do, get Austin Hubbard out of there, and won, if not every round, 2 out of the 3 pretty convincingly. So I think that, Hubbard on now a 3-fight losing skid. So I don't know. It's tough to say with him because he's always coming in ready to fight, but I don't know, man. He's now 4-8 in the UFC. Maybe it's not time to go back to the regional scene, but who knows, man. The UFC likes him because he's always putting on tough fights and actually putting on halfway decent fight. But he needs to start getting in the win column a little more. But as for Rongju, great performance and did what he needed to do, and is now 3-3 in the UFC, coming off that big win versus Cody Steele, where
Hell yeah.
he was able to get that upset win, and now he's looking good, getting momentum, 2 wins in a row. I love it.
I love it.
And we picked it.
And we picked it. Exactly. We went from losing to winning, but the next two are very bipolar for me especially, but not really for you. More so like next fight.
The next one. This was a crazy one.
So here's my take on this fight for the next one. At flyweight, Charles Johnson versus Lonier Kavana. I rooted for Kavana because of the fact that earlier that week I saw a video from Ilya Topuria where he said this guy is the future. I'm rooting for this guy. This guy is the next. He told that and Nathaniel Wood. He told them both at UFC London the last one that those two would be like the next big things. And Kavana has a lot of power. His sweeping kick is really nice. There's a lot of good work he does. That first round, it was good by him. It was good. He stuffed the takedown, got the takedown, was working those kicks. Everything was nice from him. Second round comes in, he stuffs another takedown, but as soon as they get to the stand-up, Johnson, whose account went into red last week, his wife is expected to give birth any day now. His coaches were like, he's been working his ass off for this fight. Went in there, got a massive knockout over Lonier Kavana, and picked up the massive win, and also a rightful performance of the night bonus for 50K. Get his account out of the red, make sure that he can exactly big W. You get the win, and then you get the extra 50K on top. Hopefully he has enough to be able to save 30, maybe 35K of that after you pay back your gym, your coaches, the medical, all sorts of. I don't even think he really got affected by medical because he might have gotten like maybe a cut or whatever, maybe like a little bit tiny cut. But other than that, he was the one who got the big knockout win. So he pulled that big one off in the second round. What were your thoughts on Charles Johnson's massive win?
Yeah, dude, this is a tough pick for me because we know Charles Johnson loves to take out these young guys in there and get the huge upsets. We've seen him do it to Van. Now we see him doing it to Kavanaugh. So I almost wanted to pick him, but I was so high on Kavanaugh. It's like this dude has just been looking amazing ever since we've seen him on the Contender Series. And he was looking great in that first round, but then he kind of started to want to play with the grappling a little more in that second round and kind of show that, I can do, I'm not just a striker, I can do some wrestling as well. And I think that was a big mistake because I feel like it gassed him out trying to wrestle with someone as good as Charles Johnson. And we saw that fatigue result in his defense and footwork becoming much, much less on point. And we saw him go in too cocky, admire his work a little too much, hands down as he exits. And we see Charles Johnson, who's so lanky for that 125 division, able to just freaking leap and land that punch with his lankiness and put him to sleep, bro. He did not see that coming whatsoever. He was completely just focused on Johnson, did not see that fucking punch coming. And oh my God, that was one of the most clean ones you've seen where it's just like absolutely the ones you don't see coming are the ones that get you. And in that case, they put him out
Exactly.
cold, bro. Like, that was one of the most nasty ones we've seen at that weight class in a little bit, man. That was nasty.
Very nasty. Props to Johnson. He came in there and he said, "I'm not walking away without my goddamn big check."
Yeah.
And
And he was a fat
and
underdog.
That's the thing. The last fight he had, a couple fights ago, you mentioned performance of the night bonus over Joshua Van. Joshua Van is #1 ranked right now. That's how crazy this whole division is. A guy who lost at that point of his career, bounces back, wins big, wins a featured prelim, fights Brandon Royval in a massive fight of the year war, like potential fight of the year war. It picks up the win, and then now he's like one step away from fighting Pantoja. Whereas Johnson, Johnson has already shut down. He fought Joshua Van. Joshua Van was able to still keep the hype train. Cavana, so far just got knocked out, and we don't know what's gonna happen next for him. Johnson's
Yeah.
definitely like a Michael Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
him and Michael
I see
Johnson
that.
are those hype train killers. You get in front of his face, or Zell Huber, you're Dustin Poirier from a couple of years ago, you're any of these guys, you're Tony Ferguson, any of these people, you're gonna get pieced up a bit, and face the consequences of your actions. Charles Johnson picks up this big win, gets himself a performance of the night bonus for 50K.
Big upset win.
Yadon, Kyle, Charles, and then the crazy part is, even though we did get a finish later on in the night, the rest of our fights are all distance fights now, except for 2 fights on the main card. Everything on going next fight in the featured prelim between Gage Young and Mayashati Shire went the distance. We'll get into that in a second. But every fight went the distance. No performance, no fight of the night bonuses, and only one performance of the night bonus, award later on in the night. And featured prelim on ESPN Plus, which is crazy. This is now the new ESPN Plus direct to consumer that they're doing. It's not bad, but it's also confusing because I wanted to watch back one of the fights this morning, and the UFC archive that they have, it says, "Oh, pay for ESPN Unlimited," but I'm like, I already have ESPN Unlimited, so it's like, are you guys trying to double, triple charge me on my card? Like, it's just too much, man. It's so annoying with these people.
I
Like,
agree,
what do you
bro.
mean, people? But like,
bro.
it,
And it's hard to navigate sometimes, bro. I'm like, where the fuck is UFC, bro? I'm like, I'll be like, watch one fight and then I can't find the rest. I'm like, where are these, bro? They're like, hide
that's
it.
what I was
Dude.
saying.
Like,
The replay was so confusing when I was trying to watch back. I'm like, okay, whatever. But Gage Young against Maheshati in the featured prelim. As soon as the fight starts, Gage Young immediately lands that beautiful swift sidekick to the ribs. Almost makes Maheshati look around and puke out his lunch, but right there on the spot. But there was not a lot of work from Mahi that we saw. Like there was so many leg kicks that Young brutalized him with, got him against the cage, and was just able to just perfect that jab. He rocked him a bunch of times with that jab in the center of the octagon, back and forth. They weren't even going back and forth, but it was like a back and forth of Gage Young constantly letting these blows out, and just it was really one-sided.
One-sided
30-27,
dominance.
29-28, 29-28 dominance from Gage Young. This was my first time seeing him fight lightweight division, and he really proved that cardio is definitely there. The power was there. He didn't want to go too far. He wanted to show everybody the showcase of striking, and it was definitely a great job at it. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, dude, it was like you said, pretty one-sided. I feel like Young was just one step ahead, and Mayashate really wasn't doing much. And this is a tough one for me. It's like we haven't really seen Gage do much in the UFC, but I was like, I'm rocking with him this time, and he got me the win, thankfully, on my prediction. So I'm happy to see that. And I was overall really impressed with him. He seemed really composed for being all the way across the world in Shanghai. And man, he looked great. The cardio was on point. He didn't really slow down, even though he's putting on a solid pace throughout the fight. So I'm impressed.
Impressed. And good performance from him. Definitely, you want to see more from him in the future. He looked clean. He could be on a future card before we even know it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so remember,
for real, dude.
September is full of these UFC fight nights, overseas, and all over the world. The
Yeah,
next pay-per-view isn't until October 4th, and that will be in Las Vegas when they return. And then the next fight after that, the next pay-per-view will be October 25th, and that'll be in Abu Dhabi. That was for the heavyweight title, and a heavyweight title fight. You want to build like the baddest man on the planet. Gage Young, he could be proving himself as one of the baddest. Lightweight division is always full, so you never know who could actually have a big fight there. But you picked up the big win. You picked, Young to, get that one.
I needed
Essentially,
it.
1, 2, 3. You basically won the prelims. So
Yep.
I'm proud of
It's
you,
winning
man.
time,
I'm
baby.
proud of you.
It's winning
Wow,
time
yeah,
on the
exactly,
prelims.
exactly. No, and then wait, hold on. What hat is that? Like Arizona State?
Oh, fuck no. University of Arizona, baby.
Hey, fuck no! Like you took a
Fuck
huge offense to
ASU.
that. You're like, oh
The
man,
Scum
but
Devils,
that
bro.
was.
Well, the
Oh
Wildcats,
my god.
baby.
Yeah, that. But like, that was the end of our featured prelims. Maxi picks up the big win here with a good 5 of solid picks.
Ball
5 and
knower?
2.
Ball knower?
Ball knower. You know what I
Bro,
mean? Like,
and I bet on Dawkins. I should have
ball.
trusted him, bro. But I didn't. On the official picks, though, I'm like, I'm too close with Rami. I can't freaking go anything too crazy, bro. Freaking Rami's really
I
making me
know.
second guess myself here. Mr. 68%. Good God.
I'm trying my ass here. Like, when I saw that you won, I was like, "Fuck, what am I doing here?" But thank goodness things,
Things
fixed
made
down the
maybe turn
line.
around in the main card because I think we had some
And
disagreements, or at least one.
head into the main card. Look at that. Look at that
Sumu
green.
got me.
Look at that green. Look at that green. And the main
Borjas
event
let
is
me down, but it's okay. We'll get to it.
the main event is what let me down, and we'll get into that down the line. But opening up the card, we had Tailaki and Noraji against Kiefer Crosby. This was a welterweight bout, and it lasted 3 minutes with controversy.
Yeah,
So,
this is fucked up.
dude, like Noraji, it looked like he was doing good groundwork. As soon as this was like a minute and a minute and a half into the first round. Like we get some good action, we get the takedown. Minute and a half into the round, Noraji, is taking a lot of these blows. He stands up, and as soon as Crosby's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get up. I'm an illegally downed opponent. Let me get up." And then Noraji says, "The fuck you just say to me?" And then fucking knocked his jaw right off with an illegal knee. And then I think Mark Goddard was the referee. He was like, hey, like, don't do that, nothing like that, whatever the fuck. They get back into. He
took 2 points. He took 2 points.
Yeah, he took 2 points. Only gave Crosby 48 seconds to recover. I feel like he should have had like 3-4 minutes to actually get himself back in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Then, fight starts. The drop gets dropped right against the cage. Elbows all galore, and they called off the fight. Crosby was visibly pissed off, rightfully so in a way. But Noraji picks up that big win. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, dude, it's tough where you hate to see an illegal strike happen, but it's also like, damn, that was absolutely one-sided the whole time. So I'm like, I feel like it would have happened either way, where he was going to get knocked out one way or another, but you hate to see the illegal strike. And then, of course, Mark Goddard not really taking the proper time to let him recover. It's like Crosby said he was fine, but I'm like, bro, the fighter's going to say he's fine. I'm like, they're either going to be like wanting to be out of there, or they're going to say they're fine. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just like, as a ref, you got to, see if they're actually fine and just like, be like, how hard was that blow really? And be like, all right, let me give him a little more time, because that was definitely a big knee. And yeah, I think it was inevitable. It was inevitable, but
a massive illegal knee.
It
was like a V trigger from Kenny Omega, and I was wondering myself, like, brother, he's gonna have to get some time. We see people get kicked in the nuts twice, and they're like, all right, 4 minutes, and the guy's like holding.
Yeah, the guy's like,
puts water in his freaking cup. He's all like, exactly, rightfully so. Like, not so sensitive, pal. Even
Yeah.
and so
So is
illegal
the
news,
brain.
especially, and so is the brain. It's very sensitive. You don't want to have CTE galore, and I felt like
Yeah.
this was just a crazy, crazy situation.
Yeah.
We picked up the win,
Yeah. What
but
the
it was one of those moments where we were like, oh, should we have picked up the win? It felt dirty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like a whore. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
like, should I even be taking off my robe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It's like it's a tough
are they gonna slut
situation.
shame you?
I'm
But
like,
like
I think it would have happened either way, but yeah, it's like, oh, you just hate to see that happen when it's so unnecessary. Like it wasn't even like a close, you know. It's like you can maybe see it being like borderline for some instances, but I'm like, bro, you're already beating his ass. He was probably about to finish him already, and then you do that. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? I get it's the heat of the moment, but you got to have more control. And then on the same side for Crosby, I don't know. Maybe his coaches need to tell him more for these instances. If you get hit in the head from an illegal strike, maybe take all 5 minutes. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But so maybe he could have, maybe try to take more time. But at the same time, if the referee's always like, "You ready to go? You ready to go?" They're fighters. They're going to be like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." We've seen what happens when fighters apparently sell how hurt they are. You'll be roasted online for your whole career saying that you're an actor and that you weren't actually hurt, that this is all bullshit, that you're looking for the way out. So I see why the fighters don't want to have that reputation, and they're like, I'm just trying to be a fighter, so I'm just going to say I'm ready, even if maybe they shouldn't have said that. And then it results in an even more brutal knockout where, dude, he was just bouncing the elbows on the ground and pound. Like it was like it seemed like it was like one of those training montages we see of them just going ham on the bag on the ground, bro. It was like, this is ugly, stop it. So it was a dominant performance, but also needs to be a little more, control your weapons. Don't be doing that, because that easily could have been a no contest if he wanted to say he was hurt,
Exactly.
And just ended it.
It could have easily turned into a no contest or disqualification win.
Yeah, 100%.
And that was a big win for Naraji, but we'll see what happens next for him. Heading for he got that. That's a big win for him. People are gonna be reflecting over that. Like his power is dominant. His strength is just as crazy as his opponents will be. And we'll definitely see what happens next. He didn't pick up any damage.
Be a little more careful next time.
So he's in a situation where he can be booked easily, or he might take some time off and wait for what the UFC matchmakers can put together for him. In that flyweight action in our next fight, Su Maraji fought Kevin Boras. And in this bout, of course, we picked differently. You picked Boras, I picked Suma.
I went with the underdog. I was feeling it.
You went with the underdog, and Suma had pretty dominant performance. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty dominant.
Very.
He looked crisp in there. There was a lot of moments where those leg kicks were really were sweet on the bone. And just the jab work was great.
Easy work, dude.
It's easy work, really. Like there's like 3 rounds it felt like one set of action, and there was not a lot that Kevin could have done. Like Kevin was he was stepping in there. He was making sure that I'm not gonna back away from my opponent, but that did land him in moments where he had 30-27, 30-27, 30-27 on all of the scorecards. A massive loss for him, of course, because it's a big main card. It's UFC Shanghai. Everybody in attendance is loving the action. They're all keeping themselves loud and proud. And the Suma is he's a big favorite of everybody's, especially going into UFC Shanghai. The last time he fought was this past April, where he fought Mitch Raposo by split decision. He beat him. Prior to that, he lost a decision to Charles Johnson. Crazy enough. Lost to Tim Elliott by submission. Lost to Matt Schnell by submission. And then prior to that, he's been a part of the UFC since 2018. His first fight was an armbar submission loss to Louis Smolka.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
That's a crazy throwback name right there.
For real.
Then, like he fought Malcolm Gordon. He knocked out Malcolm Gordon to be able to get himself back in the action in 2020 at the it was who was there? Hold on. Who the fuck was? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, who is this card? Devin Clark. Who was that?
Devin Clark. He's that dude that had like the he had like a freaking like moose tattoo or something. But he was solid, but then he got knocked out a bunch, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
he was. It looked like he was on a big win streak and everything. And then in 2020, they said, hey, let you headline this card against Anthony Smith. And then he got choked out. Then he got beat by Ian Catelba and Azma Mozaraev, Kennedy and Nzechukwu, Martin Pacino, and then Bavon Lewis. He fought for LFA last week actually. He fought for
Jeez, he's
LFA.
still active.
Yeah, he lost by a split decision in his heavyweight debut. That's crazy work.
He's a big
Anyways,
boy.
he's a big boy. I bring that up mainly because that was the big card that of course Sumu got a big knockout on, and now he's been able to pick up back-to-back wins this year. 2024 was not his year. He only fought once there in October, lost to Charles Johnson. He fought once in 2023, lost to Tim Elliott. Fought once in 2022, lost to Matt Snell. So it was well, every year I fight once, lose, and then now in 2025 he's turned things around, back-to-back wins, April and August. Good turnarounds for him, and it's dominant performances from him. I think he's finally got his head in the game. What were your thoughts on his dominant performance?
Super impressive, and I freaking picked Kevin, so I was expecting more from him, but he just wasn't able to find his range, wasn't able to find a rhythm whatsoever, was pretty inactive, really didn't look great, and Sumu just got the easy win. All 3 rounds went to him, 100% agree. So yeah, that's looking like a rough pick on mine looking back, but Sumu, happy to see him. He's a huge fan favorite, and yeah, like you said, he's finally finding a rhythm. He had a little rough streak. Now he's reversing it and getting back in the win column and going on a streak of his own now, and looking amazing doing it, bro. Like the last 2 opponents combined in 6 rounds against him have only landed 25 significant strikes in the combined 30
Wow.
minutes. So he's on point, dude. He's finding his range great and able to just neutralize these guys. So he's looking great, man. And in China, you love to see that too. It's like the crowd is going crazy.
Exactly. You want to be able to pull off a big performance, and that was a dominant one that definitely keeps the eyes on him moving forward. And our next fight, heavyweight action. I said this months ago whenever Brady was part of the show, and we were all doing our thing.
The GOAT.
Sergey Pavlovich, exactly, the GOAT Brady. Sergey Pavlovich was booked against Waldo Cortez Acosta as a punishment fight. I feel like, and now it's not because Waldo's dangerous. It was Sergey was a punishment. Reason being was because Sergey Spivak fought at UFC 316 in Newark, New Jersey. We saw, Brady was there. I believe he watched the fight.
Yeah.
UFC 316. He was there. He saw how boring it was. We saw how boring that was. And we were like, bro. And then they cut. I believe they cut Sergey Spivak, didn't they? Hold on.
I believe so, but it could be tripping.
I could be tripping as well. I thought I saw a report there that said he had been cut, but he knocked out Ryan Spann on Waldo Cortez Acosta. People were like, "Wow, that was a massive, knocking out, Ryan Spann. That's pretty big for you." He had this massive win streak since he lost to Marcos Rogeria de Lima on April 29, 2023 in Las Vegas. Then had a knockout win, decision, knockout, and then had a fight against Pavlovich. It was funny because with Sergey Spivak, Sergey Pavlovich, felt like it was kind of like a running gag here. Like, what's next? Gonna fight another Sergey? We're gonna bring in another fella here. But it was very one-sided, and I proved my point here when I said, this was a punishment fight, and it was definitely.
You're right.
But that's the thing too. Sergey Pavlovich needed this fight just as much as Waldo, Cortez Acosta needed it too. He did fight and defeat Jairzinho Rozenstruik by decision on the same card where Adesanya got knocked out by Nasruddin Imavov back in February 1st, 2025 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He beat Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Sergey Pavlovich. But people were like, hey man, you lost to Alexander Volkov and you were very, very heavily upset by that because that was your former teammate, turned opponent, and you couldn't beat him. Exactly. You couldn't beat him. Then in the fight prior to that, your first ever heavyweight interim title fight, and you lost to Tom Aspinall by knockout. So between 2 guys who you cannot even judge them at all. Tom Aspinall was knocking out everybody in the first round. Sergey was knocking out everybody in the first round. They were 2 guys where if something lands, something lands. And a minute and 9 seconds into that, we saw what happened to Sergey Pavlovich. In this fight here, he was crisp. He wasn't complacent. He wasn't, staying in the same spot. He landed those leg kicks. He was using his power. It was shocker. It was a shocker to not get a big win here. But he has been working his way of working the decision rounds. He has not been using his power to go in there and gas himself out and then have to worry about second and third round. He's definitely been, doing a great job. Because here's the thing: prior to this fight, the only time he went the distance was for Fight Nights Global in 2016 and 2017. After
Yeah, that
that,
is crazy.
knockout. But here's the thing too with Sergey Pavlovich. People don't bring up the last time that I believe he was in China. Let me go. Sorry. Yeah, the first time he was in China, you know what happened to him? He got knocked out by Alistair Overeem in his UFC debut in a headliner. Between him and Alistair Overeem, which was the same fight card where I believe Francis Ngannou was on. Like they were really freaking trying to put some weird cards together for Beijing, China. Yeah, hold on.
Mhm.
Yeah, Francis Ngannou fought Curtis Blades in the headliner. Like Francis lost to
Yeah.
Stipe, he lost to Derek Lewis, and they were like, "Hey, we got to put you in a big position, so we're gonna have you fight Curtis Blades." Li Jingliang fought on this card. Song Yadong fought on this card. There's Zhang Weili fought on this card. Jan Zanaunen, Kevin Holland, Louis Smolka. Like that Beijing card was crazy. But that's how much Sergey Pavlovich has grown since 2018. That's
Yeah.
that's what, almost 6-7 years. That's quite some time for him.
Mhm.
And now working that decision way up, getting back into the decision aspect of the fight, and working his magic, beating Cortez Acosta, showing his domination, showing his cardio is still crisp. What were your thoughts on this big win for Sergey Pavlovich to get himself back into the win column?
Awesome performance. It is a little crazy to see him going these decisions lately, but whether that's intentional or not, he has been looking pretty good, where has been able to control these fights and win in pretty dominant fashion, even if it's not in the way we're used to seeing, where he was knocking everyone out on the come up, just absolutely not letting anyone out of the first round. But I think that maybe it's just as time goes, he adjusts as he learns, and whether it's a good or bad thing, we'll find out once he gets back onto those top guys. We'll find out if this is a good adjustment or if it goes wrong again. But he's on his way back to the top now, getting back in the win column back to back now. And yeah, I want to see him face another one of these top guys once again, or someone new up there, because he's definitely one of the top heavyweights, no doubt about it. It's just a matter of if he can put it all together on the night and beat these really tough guys, because the heavyweight people call it shallow, but at the top it's pretty tough. There's some absolute killers up there, so you got to be one of the best to actually be able to hang. And Pavlovich is starting to learn that you can't just run through these guys like some of the guys he did coming up. You got to have a little bit more IQ in there. So I think that's what he's doing, and we'll see if it's able to pay off. Put him back in there against one of these big dudes and see what happens, because now the division is fun again. Now that John is out of here, we can actually see some title contenders get in there and not hold up the division forever. So I'm happy. Heavyweight is back, I think.
Heavyweight is back, we think, but it's a thin division, as you said. Like it's a very thinning division. But
For
here's
real.
the thing: Pavlovich is number 3 ranked, so he definitely kept his spot, comfy. Number 6 is Waldo. It feels weird to even say that, because it feels like the division has those guys that are all like the baddest man on the planet. I'm not saying Waldo is a baddest man on the planet. He has knockout wins. He has done those things. But it's a very thin division than it was a couple of years ago.
A lot of the top guys are just reigning over it, for real.
Exactly. Because number 1 is Cyril Gane. He's set to fight Tom Aspinall on October 25th in Abu Dhabi. Number 2 is Volkov. Volkov definitely could be next in line for that championship bout. I believe he has a fight coming up soon or so. Sergey Pavlovich is number 3. Number 4 is Curtis Blades, who's already lost to Tom Aspinall, but he's still trying to keep himself heavy. Jailton Almeida is another name that people have been. He's been very heavy on a lot of people's minds, and people are saying that he could be a world heavyweight champion if he gets the opportunity. Martin Tybura, yeah. Sergey Spivak is still here. Derek Lewis is number 9 ranked, but I don't know about Derek Lewis ever getting back into the title picture. And if he was in the title picture, it would be weird, because you kind of expect him to lose.
Yeah, he's a great gatekeeper for the top.
Yeah, and
at
then
this point in his career.
number 10 is Tai Tuivasa. I don't really know how to feel about Tai
Yeah.
Tuivasa because sometimes it's
Bro,
very
it's like
bipolar on how to
the
feel.
heavyweights on top, elite. The rest, oof. It's like the top 5 is elite. The rest, I don't know. The rest
It's
is
just
questionable.
it's really hard. It's really questionable. But
Bro, that's why the top guys have been dominant for so long, bro. I'm like, they just keep beating up on these other guys, and it's like they keep beating each other. So it's like it's just never ending.
There's no contenders. Like Sergey's gonna fight Tom over and over again, essentially,
Yeah.
and then Waldo's gonna be like knocking on the door, waiting for his pumpkin pie to hit the door. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
come on now. But that was a big win for Sergey Pavlovich to keep himself in a win column, back-to-back wins. Now that is, we'll see what happens next for him because he could fight. Really, it all depends. He could fight Volkov again. They could definitely run that one back, or they think that he's done enough and they give him Tom Aspinall again, which I think is a horrible idea. But it's the UFC. They're full of horrible ideas. But in our next fight, co-main event, 5-rounder. I expected a finish. We didn't get a finish. It was very dominant.
Yeah.
Very dominant, heavy. So we didn't know if we were gonna get this fight even. Like you saw, we didn't know we were gonna even see this fight. It's between a catchweight fight at 153 because Brian Ortega missed weight.
You should just go up.
Well, here's the story. He fainted at the hospital. He fainted. They took him to the hospital. They called off the fight. He came back to the hotel. He weighed in, and they said the fight's back on. Like, what? When can that happen? You know what I mean? There's been so many fights. There's been so many fights where, catch weight. Oh, we can't do it. Oh, he passed out. Oh, he missed weight by 13 pounds. Yeah, we can't do it, pal. But this situation, they were okay with it. Confusing as fuck, but it was not confusing for Aljamain Sterling, who was even confused. He was like, "Why am I getting a 5-round fight with Ortega? Is it for anything special? No. Then why am I getting a 5-round fight? I could do what I'm doing in 3 rounds." And
no offense, I could have done without it being 5. Yeah.
I could have done it without being 5 because I expected a situation where he's gonna grab the ankle, grab the neck, choke him out, do something. It was just a Hamza Chimaev beating, really. It was just like get him to the ground, keep him there. 50-45. Yeah. Get him to the ground, keep him there. 50-45. Get him to the ground and keep him there. Another 50-45. Aljamain Sterling picks up that big win over Brian Ortega in catchweight because what's the division that they fight in? Featherweight? Is it? Or something like that?
Yeah. So Brian needs to go up to lightweight. If he's going to keep, it's like he can't be missing weight. And like to the point where it's like passing out.
He's currently the number 5 ranked featherweight. Aljamain was the number 7 ranked. Aljamain will definitely take that place.
Yep.
Arnold Allen will keep 6. Brian Ortega will go to 7. Sterling takes 5, and then ahead of him, it's very, very cool. I want to say this division, the featherweight division, is fucking awesome because Aljamain knocked himself into the top 5. The last time he was champion was in the bantamweight division. We saw what he did there, and then he said, "I'm gonna." When he said Marab is ready to take this division, I'm gonna move up, and he kept the promise. He moved up, went to featherweight. Has dominated his opponents. He's knocked himself into the top 5, and now the upcoming list is Lerone Murphy, next in line for a title shot. Yair Rodriguez, next in line for a title shot. Diego Lopez, who just got done with a title shot, and then Movsar Evloev. Like,
for real, stacked.
Come on now.
Sheesh.
Like a very stacked.
Volk has his hands full with that division.
Like Volk has a lot that he has to deal with and a lot that he has to carry on. Because here's the thing, in his last fight, Movsar Evloev beat Aljamain Sterling. So Movsar definitely is number 1. He should be next in line for the championship because he did beat a guy who's in the top 5 now. He has defeated all sorts of opponents, in his past, in his future, everything of that. But it's the simple fact that who's next in line for the title? Because they want to give it to Lerone Murphy, who destroyed Aaron Pico.
Who Evloev was supposed to face, but he pulled out.
Exactly.
They might have lost the opportunity.
Exactly. And then we have Yair Rodriguez, who destroyed Patricio Pitbull as well. Like, so it's like they beat those perennial Bellator guys to earn a shot. Movsar Evloev has been dominating the scene and has, like, let's see, he has wins over Aljamain, Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez, Dan Ige, like all
True.
those four guys, or definitely three of those names right there were all title picture guys. Arnold Allen, who used to be undefeated, fought Max Holloway, went into a little bit of a deep shadow. Aljamain Sterling, former champion, he wants to become a two-division champion, getting another belt. Diego Lopez, he's the future of the division as we all see it as. He's that guy who has no quit in him. He'll keep stepping in and he'll keep fighting. Aljamain Sterling wins this fight. What do you think happens next? Like your thoughts on Aljamain Sterling win and what happens next?
Yeah, definitely give him a top, maybe title eliminator where I don't know if he quite has earned the title shot where I'm like, let's be honest, that Brian Ortega looked like complete shit. Like that, if it was Prime Ortega, I'd be saying give him a title shot, but that is not the Ortega we once knew. It was probably because of the weight cut, but who knows what's going on. He just looked terrible, man. I know Aljo is always looking great when he's able to, but yeah, I was just not impressed with Ortega whatsoever. I mean, it was admirable he was able to make it to the end, but yeah, he just is not really posing much of a threat to him. And Aljamain, such an underrated fighter, only loses to the best of the best. If you're not on, he's just going to have his way with you. So Aljo did what he needed to do and showed that he's still one of the elite of the elite. And yeah, he deserves to be in that title conversation now. And we'll see what happens next with it. Like we were saying, so much possibilities. We just have to see where they matchmake them. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see Dana's freaking bald head pop up and be like, we have some news, guys. New fights.
What's up, fight fans?
What's up, fight fans?
What's up, fight fans? We have ourselves a big card. We're going to Abu Dhabi in the middle of a long. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, brother. I agree with the title eliminator. I do. Aljamain has definitely proven himself. Has definitely been a worthy adversary towards a lot of opponents, and has definitely proven himself. It really also depends on Brian Ortega used to be that crisp, clean.
Exactly.
He was the first guy ever to knock out Frankie Edgar, and I was like, dude, his hands are good, his chokes are good.
Yeah,
good. If he goes against Holloway, it's gonna be dangerous for him. And then that's what it was. It was. I'm not saying I already knew in advance, but a lot of people had a little bit of doubt, like, can Holloway survive or take his submission game?
100%, bro.
Holloway killed Ortega.
He was teaching him. Yeah.
It was exactly, and then after that, we don't know what happens. That was it for really. Ortega, like he's had some wins in the last couple of years, but it's nothing to get him back into the picture. It's nothing to put him above anybody. Even his ex Tracy Cortez was dissing on him. She was like, he's just lost it all. Like there's a reason why he's in the position he's in, and it's because of all these like big reasons. I'm like, damn, girl. Like, talk your shit if you want it. Like, damn, girl, talk your shit. Because
I did not see this.
Yeah.
The UFC freaking keeping up with the UFC. Sheesh. I'm missing the drama.
I know that Nina drama over here. But like,
bro, but I hate to see it, bro. It's like he just seems a little less himself lately, It's like, I don't know.
And it was crazy because you see the build up to this fight. He was like, it's Ortega.
I know.
Mrs. Wade. Face. Mrs. Wade. Barely makes the weight. 5-rounder. 50-45 fight. Ortega.
Yeah.
Where was the war? I bought a ticket to go. I got a ticket to go to Tropic Thunder, and guess the fuck what? I ain't in Tropic Thunder. Like this is not what I was expecting. You ever seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Okay, make it sure, because I don't know with you. Like, I'm making sure, like are you a Kirk Lazarus guy? Like, do you fuck with Aussies?
Shit. Are you talking about in the movie now? Yeah, I was gonna say
Kirk Lazarus was
Robert Downey. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was like, are you naming him? Like, wait a minute. I'm like, it's been a little bit.
But
yeah,
you're probably thinking about Crocodile Dundee. That's why. But
yeah, it's like Ortega, bro. Yeah, Ortega. I don't know. Yeah, maybe go back to regular Brian because that seemed to work better.
When you said regular Brian, I thought of Brian Griffin.
Oh my God.
Speaking on the board.
Bro, but he needs to move up in weight. move up to lightweight, and that'll probably be better on the body, bro. It's like sometimes these guys just stay at their weight too long. It's tough in the UFC where you can't like move up a little bit at a time. You have to go full 10 pounds or sometimes 15 pounds or more
But I want to
if you
ask
want to
you
move
this:
up.
do you think lightweight would fuck him over? Because let me name off some people for you, and I'm gonna ask if you think he has a chance.
I'm going to
Benoit
say
Saint
no to
Denis,
most. Yeah,
Benoit
maybe. I
Saint
don't know.
Denis,
That one I feel a little bit better about, but probably
Michael
not.
Chandler,
And I mean, that would be a tough one. But I could see him choking him out, but he might get slimed out on the
Renato
feet.
Moicano.
Maybe that one could be decent, but he's so small. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't. It's like he needs to bulk up like muscle wise. It's like he's not. He's like not that tall, and he's not that
And
bulky.
that was just 15-11. Now we
Yeah.
have Rafael Fasivo,
Now we're
number
getting into the
10.
dangerous area. For real, bro.
Yeah.
Entering the
Benil
danger
Dariush,
zone.
Mateus
Yeah.
Gamrot, Paddy Pimblett, Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje. I think Gaethje's the only guy I think that Brian would kind of have a chance on
It's
if it
like,
came to wrestling.
the lower
If it
guys,
came
he
to
has a
wrestling.
chance. But
And
the top of the top, yeah.
Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun, but yeah, I feel like Charles would just be way too big for him.
The BMF title fight, Ortega and Max.
Bro, we rematch. This was so competitive the first time. We have to run it back.
We got to do it. He trained you at a block, didn't he? Anyways. But in our next fight, because we took a little bit too long with that Aljo and Ortega, but it was good because you know the lightweight division and the featherweight division are two of the most packed divisions in the UFC.
Yeah,
so it's always fun to talk about. Besides, now middleweight also is very interesting right now because Hamza Chimaev is now the leader of the Wolfpack, and then welterweight, Jack Della Maddalena. It's really confusing because Islam wants him, but so does Shavkat Rakhmonov and everybody else. But in our featured headliner, we had Johnny Walker versus Zhang Ming Yang. I don't know. They would say Ming Yang Zhang or whatever.
I know. I'm so confused. It's like on the website it'll say this, and then it'll be like on a different page of the website it'll say it different. I'm like, wait.
Exactly. So this fight was a wow situation because I woke up when the finish happened, and I had to watch it later on.
All the yelling probably woke you up.
I was like, what the fuck was going on? Like, it was 5 in the morning for me, like 5:59 a.m. Fight starts off. Zhang Ming Yang counters a takedown. Johnny Walker was trying to go for full Hamza mode. Like, I was like, brother, you been training with Hamza Chimaev or something? He went for the takedown, got fucking countered, reversed on that, and Zhang Ming Yang used that first round as a big beating ground for Johnny Walker. He had him. He was schooling him in that first round. Everybody was enjoying themselves. Everyone was like, "Wow," you know what I mean? The whole crowd was like, "Hey, that's our boy. He's gonna win."
Yeah, but we picked him too. We were all picking.
Next round comes in, a little bit of the same, but then all of a sudden Johnny Walker landed that leg kick, and everything shit the bed. Ming Yang fucking gets dropped. He's holding his leg, and there's ground and pound, and I'm like, what the fuck? What happened to you?
For real, bro.
Like Johnny was, and I don't know. I'm not gonna like diss on Johnny because Johnny's a freaking. He's like a bipolar fighter. You never know what you're gonna get from him. Like he's like Mikel Pereira. It's like he's gonna backflip off the cage. He's gonna do a dolphin dive onto his opponent. What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
And then he pulls out this massive leg kick, like he's been training with freaking with Jose Aldo and John Jones, and all of a sudden, Ming Yang holds his leg, gets dropped, ground and pound, finish the fight, massive upset. Johnny Walker picks it up over Ming Yang Park or Zhang Ming Yang, whatever they want to fucking call him by, because we want to go by 50 different names already. But in all due respect, Johnny Walker picked up a massive win. What were your thoughts on this big finish in the main event?
Yeah, like you said about Johnny, bro, he's either going to look like terrible or he's going to put on a great show. And in this case, he put on a great show. He started out the fight freaking throwing a takedown and ended up on his back. So I'm like, oh, great. Typical Johnny. Starting off way too crazy, putting himself in danger, ended up getting ground and pounded. But no, he was able to get out of it and actually started to look pretty good. And then once, like you said in that second round, once that leg kick hit, he was like, all right, I'm ready to go for the kill now. And he was able to get him out of there, man. And I love Johnny Walker, one of the most entertaining fighters we have on the roster. We know someone's most likely going to be finished if he's in there. There'll occasionally be a decision, but very rarely, because he's either going to finish someone or he might get finished. He's just absolutely crazy to watch, bro. I'm like, how does he even make 205? He's just outsizing guys, like making these light heavyweights look like they're like middleweights, and he looks like they don't even belong in the same weight division. Like we've seen Minyang in there with guys and look not huge or anything, but looks like a light heavyweight. But with Johnny, he looks like a middleweight and looks like he shouldn't even be in there. And when Johnny's able to use his size to his advantage, it's beautiful to see. And yeah, man, he's such a fan favorite. There was so much hype when he came in, just knocking everyone out. He had a little bit of a stumble, but the fans are always behind him. Even if he's losing, there's always some funny moments. Am I in the desert? What's going on? I don't know where I am. So you never know what's going to happen with him. And yeah, I'm happy to see it. The freaking giant ass light heavyweight with another win, bro. 6'6", 205. Bro's just winning in and out of the ring, for real.
Hell yeah. And it was crazy. His hype train was derailed by Corey Anderson, who was like, there's levels to this. And it was great because years down the line for Bellator, whenever he was fighting Vadim Nemkov, Corey Anderson, I was able to ask him a question during the presser. And I asked him, I was like, as you said before, there are levels to this. What is your thoughts and your plans for your opponent, Vadim Nemkov? Because it was a rematch. He beat Vadim at first. They changed it to a disqualification because the elbows or whatever. And then the second fight, Nemkov knocked out Corey Anderson. But now Corey's a champion, so we're happy for Corey.
Facts.
But there was levels to this a couple of years ago, and Corey Anderson knocked out Johnny Walker, was on his big win streak in the light heavyweight division, and then Hunter Campbell told him, "You deserve to be next in line for the title shot, but your social media isn't there, so we're not gonna book you." That's some stupid bullshit. I don't give a fuck if somebody has one follower on Twitter. If you can knock out everybody on this division, brother, we could promote you. Come on now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like seems like that's their fault. For real.
Exactly. Johnny Walker's been through a lot. He's pushed himself. He changed training camps. He went to Ireland, for SPG. So much has happened for him, and so much he's overcome. And I'm very happy for the guy. It's going to be a very, very wonder thought as to what happens next for him. Because you go to the light heavyweight division, he's currently ranked number 13. Number 14 was Zhang Mingyang, who now loses. In front of him is Nikita Krylov, who I believe has fought Walker, Azamat Maskarov, Bogdan Boguskov, Volkan Uzdemir, Dominic Reyes, who fights, I believe, soon, Alexander Rakic, Jamal Hill, Jan Blachowicz, who's number 5 ranked still. Like, how is he still number 5 ranked? I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, for real.
Roundtree, Carlos Olberg, Carlos Olberg's supposed to fight Dominic Reyes. The number 3 ranked is supposed to fight the number 8 ranked in Australia soon. So Carlos Olberg, Yuri Prohaka, Alex Pereira, who fights October 25th for the light heavyweight championship. It's a very, very crazy decision. Didn't Markomed fight Johnny Walker? Or am I
that was the one where I think that was the one where it's like the contest where he was like, he's like, where am I?
Where? The desert. The guy asked him, where are you? The desert. Well,
that was such a weird one. I'm like, he seems good to me.
The Shanghai Indoor Stadium was a beautiful, beautiful a place for them to host UFC Shanghai.
Yes,
sir. Great card. Our next card will be September 6th. So we don't got a fight card this weekend. We do not have a fight card this weekend, actually. Do we not? I don't think so.
I guess not.
So I might be smoking dick here. Yeah, we do not have this is the end of August. We do not have a fight card. September 6th will be the next one in Paris, France. Oui, Sacre Bleu. Where is my mom? But so Sopranos. But in this next card for UFC in Paris, we have Brad Tavares in action, Renat Fedorkinov, Martin Tybura against Ante Delija. The preliminary card is very France friendly. You know what I mean? It's going to be definitely something that we have to look into. It's like booking for Brazil or Canada or China. They're going to be definitely booking like the fan favorites on these cards. and we're gonna have to see what happens. The main card will feature Faris Siham against Cal Fernandez. Modestus Bukakis will fighting Paul Craig. Who didn't Paul Craig just fight about not too long ago? I don't know why. I feel
Yeah,
like
I feel like he did.
I feel like I'm remembering a Paul Craig fight right now. Hold on, let me go look. He fought Rodolfo Bellato.
Yes, that's right. Remember?
And
when Bellato was hurt?
Oh my God! The fucking
that one was crazy.
He was seeing acid and whatever the fuck. Acid
freaking
trip.
out.
His acid trip, brother. But Modestus Bukakis fights Paul Craig. Bolajai Oki, who everyone is a big fan of, will fight Mason Jones. The co-main event, Benoit Saint Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. Mauricio Ruffy just got into the lightweight division. He's a number 15 ranked. I believe Benoit Saint Denis is a number 10 ranked. So we were talking about lightweight fights. This is going to be a really, really interesting one because Benoit's been tested on his wrestling by Renato Moicano, and his wrestling has been tested by guys like Dustin Poirier, who delivered a massive knockout a couple while ago. So it's going to be very interesting. And then the main event, this is a fight that can very, very well determine the next UFC middleweight championship.
I think it will, for real, though.
It's definitely going to. Nasruddin Imavov, his last fight was knocking out Israel Adesanya, the legendary Israel Adesanya, who will go into the UFC Hall of Fame with flying colors, and for a lot of his fights with Kelvin Gastelum, with Alex Pereira, all sorts of things that he did to be able to make himself a legend in this game. Against Caio Barao, who has been part of the Fighting Nerds and has been absolutely nuts. Has never lost. Sorry. He has lost, but not in the UFC. His second fight ever against Raul Carvalho back in São Luís, Brazil, he lost to in a decision fight. But since then, no knockouts to him, no submissions for him. All he's done is have 5 knockouts, 4 submissions, and 8 decisions. His last fight defeated Jared Cannonier, then Paul Craig, Abzupian Magomedov, Michael Olachikik, all these fighters. He's defeated. He's been able to dominate everybody since coming into the UFC back in he won the Dana White Contender Series in 2021, and then he has been just knocking out everybody and destroying all sorts of talent. This is his biggest moment. He looked Khamzat Chimaev in the eye when he won the championship, and he knew we're gonna meet down the line. And he even said, I have the game plan that can stop Khamzat Chimaev. And we've been all looking for that game plan. Only one person's come a little bit close, and that was Gilbert Burns. But even then, Gilbert took so much out. It took so much out of Gilbert. He's never been the same again.
Yeah.
And Duplessis says he needs 6 to 8 months to think about this. He said Dricus Duplessis believes he'll be ready by February for another fight, which is his sweet ground. January and February, he fought Izzy, he fought Sean, he beat those guys. So the kickoff of the year, I think he definitely has a lot of good luck in. But it's Khamzat Chimaev we're talking about. This isn't like a bike ride in the park or whatever. This is like Twisted Metal, and you have no legs to fucking pull your car. So it's gonna definitely be some crazy shit that we see. Nasruddin Imavov, Caio Barao, Paris, France. It's gonna be a freaking
can't wait.
It's gonna be great. That's in 2 weeks from now. So we got next weekend off. We can relax, catch up on some sleep.
Lock in these predictions.
You know what I mean? Like a week-long prediction. Freaking.
We're going undefeated.
Who knows? But we truly gotta hope to God. And God don't like us right now. But next week, it's so funny too. I say, next weekend I'm gonna catch up on some sleep. Next Saturday is the return of Formula One. The season they went on a little bit of a summer break, so it's coming back this weekend. They're gonna be in the Netherlands. Charles Leclerc is trying to be his best to get into that top 3. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are the top 2 guys. Max Verstappen's wondering what's going on. Lewis Hamilton's wondering what's going on. I'm just not getting into the sport again. I used to be into it like a couple of years back, but I wasn't heavily. And now I'm just.
It's fun, bro.
It's all I yap about, man. It's such a great time.
Oh yeah, I love F1.
Hell yeah! Who's your favorite driver?
The GOAT, Lewis. But my second favorite might be Oscar right now.
Huh? Okay.
My other favorite was Bottas, but he's gone. But I think he's gonna be back.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back with Cadillac, I think.
Ooh, there's been so many like nicknames like crazy. Logan Sargent, Sargento Cheese, Oscar Pastries. There's so many. Like every time I see the name, I'm like, I can't pronounce it. Even I can. I just wanted to fucking be a douchebag and say them.
Yeah,
But Max
for real.
Verstappen, Max is like I think one of the people's favorites, of course. I love
Oh yeah,
Lando. I think Lando's
yeah.
amazing, of course. Lando, we need to win a world
Lando's awesome.
championship. Oscar has become a good favorite of mine, but yeah, I think everybody, of course, is I've been playing a lot of the Formula One game. I have Michael Schumacher career mode,
Oh,
and
I
you
need
know
to get
what?
it. It's pretty good.
I, oh, I'm but
I haven't got
24.
one in a while.
So 24, if you get it on EA Play, you can get it for free. $5 a month, EA
Mm,
Play, all that stuff. You can F1 24 is the one with the icons where you can play as Michael Schumacher and all the like legends of the game
yeah.
as a career mode.
Mm,
25, no, you can't. So
damn.
they
Okay.
removed. Right, I'm like, you brought something cool and you took it away from us. I was like,
Yeah,
that's kind of
bullshit.
stupid. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
We need to become world champion. But so um, another episode of Talktagon with Rami, myself,
Oh yeah.
and good old Maxi.
And all the
We
goats
had
tuning in.
exactly all the goats tuning in, 374 of you, with a like on Facebook. I even streamed it on my own Facebook and everything, just so I could be able to see what kind of stuff that we can get in. And I think we got a bit of a big boost, so I'm happy
I
for
love
that.
it.
I'm happy for I'm happy for everybody who tuned in. It's always a great time. 28 weeks of this, and we'll get every week. It gets even every week or 2 weeks, every pay-per-view fight night. It gets even more intense. Thank goodness we're not doing Dynamite Contender Series. You know what I mean?
For real
Like
though, that'd be
we don't have. I
nonstop.
think that. Oh my! I think even then, I think I'd probably have to shoot you then. So I it's just crazy work. But I love
For
this. I
real.
love tuning it every Monday. I wake up and I'm like, fuck. Because I'm like, did I win this week? Did I not win this
For
week?
real.
And then
I'm
when I
like,
do win, I'm like, hell yeah.
tie.
But this week we did tie. We did tie this week, thankfully.
Thank goodness.
So,
Rami had a big streak
exactly,
on me, as you guys can see by the percentages. I'm getting cooked.
exactly. So I don't know. Does this mean the win streak is over? Does this mean it's like it's like the five
I
week win
consider
streak?
it
Like
over.
yeah, now it's a tie. Now we gotta see what else happens
Exactly,
next.
exactly.
It's gonna be really interesting. I cannot wait. Next
It's a draw.
weekend we gotta exactly. Yeah. All right. Where can they find you on your socials, Maxi?
Follow me at Combat Combos on Twitter and X. That's where I talk all things MMA, and that's where I talk with my boy Rami the most. And I may be back on more freaking fantasy football streams with Bodyslam. I don't know if we're gonna keep bringing that back, and you guys can see me win the whole league. But also check out Brawl and Draw. That is my art account on Instagram. My boy Brian Battle. I have a piece right here above me. Unfortunately, he got cut. He was the first UFC fighter to see my stuff and support it. So I was sad that he was gone. But go check it out. Let me know what you guys think of the art. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. It means a lot. We had a nice little chat going. And Rami, thanks as always for being the GOAT host for real, bro. Keep things running smoothly as always, bro. But yeah, can't wait for the next. And we won't be back next week, but 2 weeks we'll be talking all things Kyle Bahalio and Nasruddin Imavov, and we'll see who's facing Khamzat next. I cannot wait to see, dude. It's going to be a big one.
Exactly. I say Hamzat, but at least I don't say Hazmat like freaking Chael Sonnen does. Hazmat Chimaev, like
Hazmat.
he says it right in front of his face, and like Chimaev is like, "Yes, brother." Like I don't know, he's not gonna question it. I guess not.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't question
so
it either.
you can find me at Who Else But Rami on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. All the good places, even PlayStation. If you want to get your ass whooped by me on UFC, go right ahead. But this is streaming on my Facebook, yeah. But don't add me on my Facebook. I
was gonna
shoot you.
say, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I have to
Tune
stream it on
in,
there,
but don't actually find it.
exactly. Tune in. If you're one of my 3,000 friends on there, go right ahead and watch it. If you're not, what are you doing here? But like, anyways, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. We will be back in 2 weeks. We will definitely be discussing the UFC Paris card, and it should be a lot of fun. That'll be episode 29. Getting so close to episode 30. We're getting so much closer to big pay-per-views that are gonna explode in October for spooky season.
Let's
So
go.
I cannot wait. It's the best time of the year. October, November, December, I believe, are the best times of the year because it's cold as a motherfucker. You can enjoy all the slasher films you want, and it's always a great time to just live
Fact.
life. Fuck the summer, and fuck the bucket ice.
Fuck the summer in
Um,
Arizona, especially, bro. It's fucking hot as shit.
Oh, dude, it was 106 the other day here. I was dying my fucking
Jeez,
balls.
bro.
And here's the worst part. It says outside 106, and it was thunderstorms and lightning.
Oh,
What
the
kind of
humidity
bipolar
too?
bullshit is
Oh,
that?
hell no. For
It
real,
was it
bro.
was nasty. But
Musty.
yes, thank you so much to everybody. Musty, dusty, ugly. But thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. We will see you in 2 weeks. This has been another edition of Talktagon featuring myself, Rami, and my boy Max.
Let's
Thank you so
go.
much as always. We will see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.